Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. My name is SP Jimmy, and today we're going to be taking a look at the City of Heroes collectible card game. Cards! We get to look at the heroes and the sidekicks. We also get to look at the signature powers of the heroes, but sidekicks don't have signature powers. I don't know much about this game. I don't think that anybody knows much about this game because it's a collectible card game for a game that's not really supported or technically doesn't really exist anymore. And the only way that you can get these is if somebody already bought them and they give them to you, or you buy them online or something like that, which I have none of these, by the way. I just stumbled across these and I was really excited to show you guys because there's some heroes on here that I think that we'll be pretty familiar with, but some of them were completely new to me, and I think there's a bunch of them that are going to be new to you as well. So let's get right to it. We're going to start with a little explanation here, though. There are arena cards and secret origin cards that we're going to be looking at in no particular order. There are also Hammondin cards, but the Hammondin cards don't have any heroes or sidekicks. They're just extra powers that they added. And we're not looking at all of the powers today. There's so many power cards that I could do at some point in the future, but it depends what kind of response this video gets. And if you guys enjoy the format, please let me know by leaving a like and leaving a comment down below if maybe you have some of these cards. These are what we're going to be looking at. You can see there's a hero, they all have a signature power, and there is the other cards that they also can use or that their art may appear in. And this is the other set of those cards, so we can see there as well. They have exclusive powers, but we're not looking at those yet. Starting us off, somebody we all should know and be familiar with, Miss Liberty. She is a martial arts and invulnerability scrapper, the third generation in a heroic legacy. Miss Liberty founded the longbow as well as leading the Vindicators. And her signature ability is the Liberty Belt, that she just goes upside your head. She hip checks people, giving a whole new sense to the word. My grandmother was given this belt as a wedding present from the Furies. Now you get to see what it does up close and personal. And speaking of her grandmother, we have Maiden Justice. Maiden Justice is a martial arts and super reflexes scrapper, and I did a little digging into her backstory. Turns out she was married to my pal Statesman, and they are the grandparents of Miss Liberty. So super reflexes, martial arts, and now Liberty has super reflexes and vulnerability, and the vulnerability she of course gets from Statesman. The reporters love her. She's practically the face of crime busting in the city, and that's a quote from Statesman. And for the Justice is Swift signature power, it says, "See, honey, there is a time and a place for speed. This is it." Now, we also notice that each card has accuracy, defense, and health points, and I don't really know what those mean. You can see she also had super jump there, and for the Dark Watcher here in the bottom right corner of his card, we see that he has the teleport ability. The Dark Watcher is an illusion control force field controller, and we might recognize his name from some enhancements, and some of the other names of heroes and sidekicks here are in the enhancements as well, so it's kind of cool that we can hear there. So Dark Watcher, I think Dark Watcher Despair is what his enhancement is called. Trust me, this is far from the worst Paragon City could get. I know, I haven't really let loose yet. Master, forgive him, with the fedora and everything. And for Dimension Twist, an illusion control ability, sounds to me more like it would be gravity control. The point is to move the enemy. Hurting him is just an added bonus. To move the enemy? You better check your powers there, buddy, because that is gravity control, I'm pretty sure. Not illusion. Dark Watcher. Next up, we have Armory. He is an assault rifle and devices blaster. I used to have one of those when I was younger, when I played on live. Word to the wise, stay out of the smoke. Once this grenade goes off, the safety goes with it. And we don't get to read the rest. And I've noticed that a few of the cards, the quotes at the bottom will just cut off at the end. So Armory is one of them. I've seen at least two others as well. Armory's signature ability is Scatter Shot with his assault rifle. He just fires a scatter shot. Now, looking at the art for him, throwing a grenade, I see there's a gun in the other one. There's not a lot of guns. There is blood in some of them coming up as well. So some of them are more appropriate or less appropriate. We have Recoilless. Hi, I'm Recoilless. Recoilless. I don't like that name. It doesn't fit right. Recoilless. Oh, good. Steel skin. I love the way it sparkles after a direct hit. It's like Christmas, except no giant. Fill in the blank. Her signature ability is Ricochet from the assault rifle. Sure, I could have just aimed right at him, but this gets me more screen time. Like a little bit of a meta joke there. I wish we had an ability like Ricochet where you could shoot around corners or you didn't have to be in line of sight of them directly, but I'm not sure how that would work with the game mechanics. Also, it looks like she has an assault rifle in one, but on the picture on the left, it looks like she has some form of a beam rifle, which is a little bit misleading. A little bit. And she has super speed. Next is one of my least favorites, the Brass Man. I'm the Brass Man. Yeah. He's a robot. He's electric blast and energy manipulation blaster. Hope none of you invested in scrap metal this year, because I hear the stock is falling by the hour. And by the time you get that out, they're already gone, or they've already dropped you, Brass Man. You gotta trim it up. And his signature ability is like clockwork from the electrical blast. And I don't know. I don't like things when they're named after clockwork. It's a pretty cool picture, though, blowing people up with electricity zapping through them. They seem a little bit mangled from it. I guess he doesn't have moral qualms about it since he's not human. And next we have Incandescent. I have a problem with this card because her signature ability doesn't match her profile picture. Right? Something's up there. Bait and switch is going on here. You think you're getting Incandescent, but you're getting Shocker over there on the side. It looks more like a Peacebringer on the right, if you ask me. Especially with a name like Incandescent, you would think that this is a Peacebringer. And then that doesn't even match the color scheme, the glow from both pictures. I'm not into it. She's a Fire Blast and Energy Manipulation Blaster, so she is like a Blapper from the old days, that she would do the most possible damage with her damage over time, the burning effect, and then also the energy manipulation. We don't see as much of that now. It's not quite the meta, but Blackout, not a problem. Just remember, I charge by the city block. What? So even her information on the card is alluding that she's a woman of the night. Not a fan, Incandescent. Not a fan. We have Gravitas, or should I say Gravitas. At best, you're crawling out of here. At best. Does he have to repeat what he says? It kind of takes away from it. But Gravitas has the signature power Bonds of Gravity. And he's got a really deep purple scheme going on. And I'm not too big a fan of that. He looks with an old man face popping out. Put a helmet on and you'll be a little bit more threatening, especially with your fly ability. You can't even keep up. Now we have Numina, and we may have seen her in the game at points. Her signature ability is Portents. Aw, those Portents. Look at him out there getting trampled. I'd be frightened too. You're about to betray the biggest crime boss in Paragon City. She's a mind control empathy controller, and I guess Numina is like a crime boss? Oh, no, she's like, oh, I'm working with a crime boss, and by taking this, you're going to be upsetting a crime boss. Numina, you got issues, and you have a mind control about Portent. I don't even know what your powers do. I don't even know who you are, what you're doing in here. Come on, Numina. Next up, we have Heartseeker. Now, I actually like the idea with this one. She's an empathy archery defender. A defender who is empathy primarily, so she's a healer, and she also has the archery ability. So I don't think she's getting any special benefits from being archery, but I like the idea in that she didn't name herself like Cupid, or that her signature ability isn't called like Cupid's Kiss or something lame like that. So Heartseeker has the signature ability Heart's Blood, and this is one of those cards that has some blood on it. Not a big fan of that. I don't know what's happening. Like, it's escaping his chest, so she's putting her hand. It looks like she's more of a pain. Like she uses the pain powers or the blood powers to work with them more than just empathy. So seems a little bit off. She lost her lover in the Ricti invasion. Now her arrows are a bitter torrent of loneliness. I fear she may enjoy her work a little bit too much. From my pal, Statesman. And for the Heart's Blood, the skin seals and tightens, muscles and reflexes improve, and for a minute he's better than he was before. So it sounds even like Fortitude that she's doing there, but she calls it Heart's Blood. Interesting. That would be a good person to follow you along. A good little pocket healer. Speaking of pocket healers, we have another empathy defender, this one with a psychic blast, and that is Remedy. And I am digging that signature power art. Look at that. She's got the Brass Man in there. She's got Statesman. It looks like she's killing the Brass Man to save Statesman, and I am all for it. Keep it up, Remedy. Get the wounded out of here. What's about to happen can't possibly help the healing process. She says, look away because I'm about to do something awesome. And then she kills Brass Man. Next up, we have Capacitor. Not the Capacitor. Capacitor, another empathy defender, this time with Electrical Blast. And he doesn't have any card text. But he has Oscillation as his empathy power, his signature power. And it looks like he's able to just heal people. It looks like he's doing Clear Mind to a bit. Yeah, well, or a form of Fortitude for himself as well. Capacitor. Too much purple. Kind of Lakers colors going on there with the yellow and the weird shorts. Next up, we have Jacklight, a radiation emission psychic blast defender. Kind of a cool combo there, right? Because you're able to debuff them. You're using an attack that they don't always have a resistance to. Hard to run when your muscles have decided to super jump? I don't know, because it's cut off at the bottom. She has a diamond on her chest. I'm not sure why. Probably because it looks like a light bulb. And her signature power is Turning Point. It's a radiation emission. And it looks like she's trying to deal damage with it. Inflict 2 energy damage. What radiation emission inflicts damage? I want to know, because I don't think they have one. And then we have Swan. We've seen her before. Swan is a force field psychic blast defender. They used to call me Turtle, but it didn't go with the costume. That's funny. She could have been called Turtle, but it looks like she wanted to fly around and show off a bit more. Thanks for the assist for her signature power, Wings of Protection, because she casts force fields. So there she is, letting Miss Liberty soak up some more damage as she goes in to do her kicks. But if she's invulnerability, wouldn't she already have full resistance and defense? I'm not sure Swan's helping at all. This guy, Occam, which I think that they only did that, gave him that name so that they could give him the power Occam's Razor. Occam is a claws and vulnerability scrapper, and he's not the only claws and vulnerability scrapper. There's a sidekick that I like much better with the same power set and a cooler getup. You see that crowd of folks on the ground behind me? Yeah, they thought they had what it takes too. Okay, he's a little tough guy, but look at the claws. Those are like savage melee claws. Those are not like what we saw originally in the game, which were the 3 metal claws coming out, or any form that we would see now with more costume abilities. For Occam's Razor, you mind if I keep that? I have a collection. And he apparently collects the tips of guns. I don't see why he does that. You're probably cutting a lot of them. You probably have too many. Next up, we have Levontera. Levontera. She's a katana dark armor scrapper, and the sound her blade makes creeps me out. It's like everyone she's ever cut down is howling in pain all at once. And that's a quote from Synapse, who we will get to see later. That sounds like the superhero katana that steals the souls of people. Levontera, I see what you're doing. Her signature power is called Cloud Strike, and it is unpredictable, invisible, and unstoppable, and she's taken down some Sue right there. We have Borea. She's a katana super reflexes scrapper. Okay, pretty generic. You weren't hard to find, Lev, not with that trail of shriveled corpses behind you. Oh, so maybe she's talking about Levontera that we just saw. Her signature ability is Chill Wind with her katana, hairs on the back of your neck standing on end. Let me take care of that for you. And she is, very rudely in my opinion, cutting the horn off of either an actual demon or a very dedicated cosplay person. And I think that horn is pretty expensive. Not very polite. Ooh, Back Alley Brawler. If you haven't seen him, you may have seen him originally when the game was live in Galaxy City, but now since we can only go to the Echo Galaxy City, at least on Homecoming, I'm pretty sure, he's standing somewhere in Atlas Park, and he will also level you up. So go give him some business. If you don't, he's a bit out of the way. He's an invulnerability super strength tanker. Whoa. Excuse me. I remember in the first like City of Heroes trailer that dropped, we saw a back alley brawler in a back alley and he was brawling, and not only did he have the energy melee effects, but he also had the energy melee sound effects. I refuse to believe that he is super strength. Although in future videos, I believe we do see back alley brawler using more of a super, he uses like a haymaker at one point. He should be energy melee. I don't agree. Back alley brawler, never mind. Don't give him your business. He's a liar, on his card at least. Even after all these years, the stupidity of most super criminals still gets him mad. And that is a quote from Minx, who we will also see. And I believe that Minx and back alley brawler are friends, if I'm not mistaken. Street fighting is his signature power. Hold on. Street fighting is its own power set now. And invulnerability? Street fighting is invulnerability power? I don't think so. Plus, you're attacking people. Get your act together. Maybe he's street fighting, and that's what we're supposed to believe, is that he's what became the street fighting power set that we have now. Okay. But they had energy melee. I don't know. Crystal Flame is an ice armor, fiery melee tanker. I love the ice armor set. I think that not enough people play it, and it's really cool. It has icicles, so you can deal damage to those around you. There are a few good ice armor heroes in this batch. At least one other that I can think of. Opposites attract honey, ice, fire. Get it? Her signature power is Lucent Fire. If you're looking for a hot time, big boy, you found it. Why? Why do they do that? I've noticed they do that with a few more of the cards as well. It kind of takes away from the character. The Magmite, the turd man. I don't like him. I don't like the way he looks. I'm not a big fan of his power set because I don't like fiery melee. There are some other stone armor people who I think do it better as well. Magmite may have any number of active toggles. Okay, except for granite armor. Is it because he's already granite or something like that? His signature ability is lava armor from his stone armor, so he gets better resistance to fire. Okay, good for him. And he says, seriously, bow boy? Wooden arrows? Against the one guy who's known for lava? Yeah, plan for who you're fighting. I don't think that was a good call, whoever's shooting at you. You don't have a card, I'm pretty sure. Anik Razul is a stone armor super strength tanker. Now this guy is doing it right. His signature ability doesn't even have anything to do with his primary stone armor, the Light of Ra. But I'm willing to assume or to believe that that is more of his epic power, is some form of laser eye beam. Light of Ra, he shoots it from his eyes. Okay, I'll give him that. Until the last dawn fades on this world, I shall serve my pharaoh. Well, he's long dead. The sun sustains him, but righteous fury is his guide. I mean, what, you saw the Egyptian hat in the costume creator and you wanted to make a whole character about it? I got it. I bet your name means something, but I don't know what it means. Blast Furnace is a fiery aura, fiery melee tanker. And if you're going to go full fire, then that's really the only way I could respect that fiery melee choice. I'm not sure there's anything left of the man inside that suit. And that's what Sister Psyche says. He has fiery super speed. I bet he leaves a fiery aura behind him. And his signature ability is Broil from the Fiery Aura set. Did I mention he has an explosive personality? I wouldn't have guessed. I would have guessed that he was like a magical suit of armor fire thing. I didn't think he would have much of a personality, but okay. If it's anything, I guess it would be fire. And that takes us to Top Hat, who is an illusion control radiation emission controller. Now, I agree with that power choice because the radiation is going to debuff his opponents with their minus res, minus defense, which is going to allow his illusions, in this case, 3-ring circus. I guess he gets tigers lucky instead of the decoys we're stuck with. But they're going to be able to deal more damage because buffs wouldn't affect his pets anyways. Now, he has Accelerate Metabolism, which isn't really going to do anything for his pets because they don't benefit from plus recharge either. Anyways, he's got the hat going on. He's got the little jacket and everything. I wish we had those tigers. Now we have Flower Knight. She is an archery devices blaster who I believe we see in the tutorial and maybe in a couple other missions. I've definitely run around with her before, blasting and shooting at people with her archery or bow and arrow. And she has the signature power summon Ancestor, where it looks like not even her. That doesn't even look like her. That looks like the other guy who's in that mission. What's the other guy's name? Because I don't remember, and I don't think that he has the card. But that's him on the right, I'm pretty sure. But anyway, she flings her ancestors across the battlefield at some mage, apparently. That is her signature power, summon Ancestor. Next up, and I don't even know how to say this guy's name, Fusillade is what I bet it is. It's probably Fusillade, but I want to say it Fusaid, or Fusillade, Fuselage, whatever. Fuselage here is a fire/devices blaster. He's got the AoE from his primary, the fire, pretty good damage from that. He's got devices now with the changes, probably giving him some more survivability, some accuracy. It's a good combination. I could see that going over pretty well for you. His signature power is rapid fire. The best defense is a good offense. I totally messed that up. The best defense is a good offense. Rapid fire is his signature ability. Fusillade. How do you say his name? It's horrible marketing. This next one, I have a bit of a problem with this. Bottle Rocket needs to go back to the icon and have her costume fixed up a bit, because you can see way more of Bottle Rocket's butt than you need to be able to. This signature ability is Sky Rockets in Flight, Afternoon Delight, an inappropriate signature power for an inappropriate hero. Bottle Rocket is the leader of the Arrow Girls, a team of 3 young women trained by Virginia Bowman. That's an interesting name. The Olympic archer who trained Manticore. Go and talk. Costume changes are free. You can go get one now. Conductress is an electrical blast/ice manipulation blaster, so electric and ice, and her signature power is Ice Spark. The same laboratory accident that created the villainous Winterfire gave Conductress control of ice and electricity. We don't have Winterfire. I wish I could see what she looked like as well. You don't get to see much, and that doesn't even look like the same person in the same art right there. Flux is an electrical blast/devices blaster, so he's got the minus endurance. He's a little bit more of a techie guy, it looks like. Maybe he gets his electrical powers from his tech. Flux has enhanced his mutant ability to fire blasts of electricity with potent gadgets. So he actually is mutation, but he also has a bit of a technology helping him out there. His signature power is amplification band. So either he's going to, so it looks like he deals damage with it, and then it buffs his damage for the next attack. So it's like his little build-up. Amplification band. Now we have Pyrexia, a fire blast/ice manipulation blaster. And her signature ability is called Equinox, because I bet Frostfire was taken, wasn't it? Pyrexia and Kronk have little in common, but together they created the Chaotix to help protect Paragon. I would like to see Kronk, and he is not in here either. Who's Kronk? What does he have going on? Teaming with Crystal Cat has increased Pyrexia's control over her ice powers 1,000-fold as she blasts you with both heat and cold. Kind of a basic costume she has going on as well. Now we have Synapse, and may I say, I have the biggest problem with Synapse. He is apparently an electric blast, electric manipulation blaster, but I was always under the impression that he was a kinetics defender with electric blast, because he would need like siphon speed to go even faster, and he's not that fast. Okay, this bothered me since I was a kid. If you watch the old videos, the City of Heroes cinematics, there's one where Statesman and Manticore and Synapse and the martial arts guy, they're going to go into Recluse's fortress, and Synapse goes, "I'm going to scout the building." And he runs in at the speed of like a level 14 who just got super speed and never leveled up past it. And then they wait like 2 seconds, like, okay, let's go in because I'm sure he's dead already. And sure enough, Synapse, he steps out and he's beaten by Recluse. This is the worst guy. He's like, oh yeah, let me just exemplar up with you guys. I'll be your sidekick, go up there. But I'm not going to get any good speed powers. I'm just going to hope that my lazy super speed is going to get the job done. You're not the fastest guy anymore. I'm pretty sure even if he was super reflex, if he was anything else that actually gave him speed powers, I could believe it. If he was electric armor, I could believe it because he gets that plus speed. But come on, Synapse. I really don't like this guy. Tortured by Cray. Good. Synapse escaped with his life and an electrically charged nervous system. Synaptic Strike is his special ability. How many punches does it take to get to the center of a bozo? Let's find out. Also, I read the comics. Not to go off just about Synapse here for a minute, but I read the comics. He's a jerk. He like grabs this girl on the butt, or he says like, I could spank you before you could even notice. This dude has some serious issues, and I'm glad he gets beaten up in the comics too, which I'm glad about. Forget him. And his task force sucks. Now we're looking at Trajectory, a gravity control trick arrow controller. I love the idea, Trajectory. You are going to slow everybody. You're going to push them. You're going to move them. And even if they get close to you, you have traps ready. I love it. Trajectory has the gravity arrow as his signature power. Gravity arrow, so he's able to like stick people up on the wall. I believe it. With his power set, I can see that happening. You push them back, you slow them down. They're not getting out of there. Trajectory looks awesome. Moving a big car. Looks like he almost had magnet powers, but it was gravity. Now, I like Trixie as well. She is a mind control trick arrow controller. Kind of cool, right? Because none of the trick arrow, to my knowledge, I don't think they, off the top of my head, I don't think any of them deal damage for a controller. So they're not going to break from her sleep. She's in total control in two ways of the battlefield. That she's able to slow them, she's able to sleep them, she's able to total domination them, she's able to confuse. Nobody is getting past Trixie here, and her signature ability is Mind Shaft. So here comes Triple Trouble. She's giving you the Mind Shaft straight to your face. Apocalypse is who that looks like, or it looks like Darkseid. Sorry, it looks like Darkseid right there. This is going to hurt you way more than it'll hurt me. And that is a quote. She's quoting herself because Trixie is that cool. Right on. Now, here we have on the opposite end, Snowslide, who one looks like the cover of a romance novel on the left. He's an ice control / force field controller. Snowslide's expertise was instrumental in the defeat of the Winter Lord's plan to freeze Paragon City. Why? Because he knew about ice? Because he was like the one ice guy nearby who could do something about the Winter Lord's ice everywhere. And look what he did. He used his power Glacial Shift to fart ice out of his hands and cover the city, or to suck it up. I can't tell if he's removing ice there, maybe. Snowslide's full power has yet to be determined, but his Glacial Shift ability indicates a very high potential. We don't know if he's really good or not, but he helped us out here, so we want to give him a card and not say anything bad. That dude is super lame. And the force fields, like, come on, man. Chain Reaction has the signature ability Critical Reactor, because Chain Reaction was already taken, and it's really easy to get those parts of his name and his power mixed up, so bear with me. Chain Reaction is a gravity control and radiation emission controller, so he's locking them down, he's moving them around, and he also has the ability to debuff those opponents. So not a bad power set. He has teleportation. Looks like he has the full metallic on his costume there, which is kind of lazy if you ask me. But the Critical Reactor, a construct of Dr. Aeon, Chain Reaction escaped the Rogue Isles and now lives in the City of Heroes. Gosh, Chain Reaction sounds like it should be the name of his ability. Critical Reactor should be his name. But there you go. Now we have Polar Star, who is an ice control radiation emission controller. Okay, not the best, not the worst. I can see that working for most groups that you wanted to run. The mysterious Polar Star appeared in Paragon City one night, claiming to remember nothing before waking up in the frozen wastes of the North Pole. Then how did she get back to Paragon City? She just like woke up in the North Pole and was like, who am I? Let me go to this place where the heroes are, apparently. Icy Star is her signature power. Now you know how it feels to find yourself on the frozen wastes, just like I was at the North Pole, apparently. Polar Star, Icy Star. I see a theme that you're trying to go for, but I'm not feeling it. Sister Psyche is a mind control force field controller, and we should know her. She has a big part in the comics. We see her in game at least a few times, right? Sister Psyche. One of the most potent weapons the world had in the Ricti War, Sister Psyche's mind was only recently returned to her own body. Now, interesting that she has force field. I guess that's how she was able to clear the debris off of those individuals in the cinematic as well, because we see her do that. I always wondered what her power set was. It's mind control and force field. But she uses her signature power, Mind Rider, not Mind Reader, Mind Rider, to, I guess, deal damage, rotate one of the targets. I don't even know what that means, but she can do, I guess, an extra thing on top of dealing damage. Very cool art for her as well, but she always has cool artwork. She's one of their more forefront characters. She's even on the title screen. Now we have Lighthouse, who I've never heard of. I've heard of a lighthouse before, and her signature power, it looks like a lighthouse, but I don't know. Maybe she's out on Peregrine Island or something like that, beckoning in the ships. It looks like she's a force field and electric blast defender. I guess that's a good combination if you want to work in the lighthouse. Shield of Light is her signature power, but I don't see how she's very helpful. Electronica is a trick arrow and electric blast defender. And her signature ability is the Whistler, which it looks like does sonic damage to the people she's attacking. Would she not be better as a sonic instead of trick arrow, right? Or sonic blast or electric? I can see what they're trying to go for. Granted, I know that this is before sonic resonance was a thing. After we take these losers out, let's head over to Pocket D for the Paragon dance party. Oh yeah, and then she gets down with her electrically charged boombox. I wish that she had a different power set, but it's not going to make much of a difference. I think it's kind of a waste for her. She looks cool though. Her art is cool, and she has a skull on her signature ability there. And we don't see any other skulls, I don't think, in the artwork, or at least not very many. Now we have Dynamique. She is a dynamic lady, Dynamique. Force field, radiation blast, defender. And her signature ability is radiation force. And it says that it's from force field, so kind of a combination of her abilities there. When she's targeted, she gains defense, inflicts damage to people. Yeah, so it's kind of a combination of her abilities that she's using there. Radiation blast and force field. See, I wouldn't play a rad force field. I wouldn't play a force field in most cases unless I was like a mastermind or something like that. I like Regulus. Regulus looks to me like Lex Luthor at one point. Radiation emission and archery. And even his signature ability looks like, it's called Arcing Missile. It looks like he's shooting a missile out, right? It's actually a radioactive arrow, more likely. But what a cool concept for a guy. Like, you could see him just firing that out of his hand cannon, but unfortunately he'd have to run around with like a tech or a compound bow or something to fit his armor. But man, that looks cool. Rad Storm with the signature power Radiation Storm. Not very original there. Radstorm looks like a cocky idiot to me. I don't know what it is about him. He just looks dumb. But he's a radiation emission and electrical blast defender. Not a bad power set combination. I can see where it is. But look, when he's using Radiation Storm, he just stands there with his hands on his hips and he's like, yeah, I can shock everybody around me and do nothing and stand here. A former longbow agent, he's dedicated himself to clearing arms dealers from the streets of Paragon, and he has super speed. And for Radiation Storm, it looks like it does damage. It does minus accuracy, minus defense. It's a good power. He's a good set. He just looks like a total tool to me. Manticore, we know him. We've seen him a lot. He has a lot of information in the comics as well about like his dad used to be... No, he had a different name. Chimera? I forget what it was. That's the alternate version. So much about Manticore. He does really cool stuff in the comics as well. He has a lot of abilities. I think a lot of people, a lot of the heroes and sidekicks on this list have Trick Arrow because of him, because they had to have more cards, and there's a lot of Trick Arrow in here, mostly probably because of Manticore. With the heart of a lion and the sting of a scorpion, Manticore is perhaps the deadliest weapon in the arsenal of the Freedom Phalanx. Even though he doesn't really have any powers, he just has a lot of money. And his signature power is Teleport Arrow, where he can freak out an innocent bystander and then shoot the person behind them. Seems kind of rude, but hey, there you go. We don't get any form of the Teleport Arrow. I sure would like to, but I can see that maybe is a little bit more overpowered for him. Positron, and we all know Positron from the Task Force, is a radiation emission and radiation blast defender, and that's how it should be. That's always how I imagine Positron was Rad Defender. I know that he could be a Rad Blaster nowadays, but not back when the cards came out and not when the game was on live. Dr. Raymond Keyes developed the Positron suit while working for Cray. It allows him to convert antimatter into powerful blasts of energy, and his signature ability, Overcharge, where it looks like he blocks an attack or does some. He's not really doing any charging there, he's just blocking a Cray attack. As power sources go, I have to say the Fire of Prometheus is right up there, because that has to do with his origin story as well. I don't think he actually can leave the suit anymore, or if it gets damaged he has to repair it because he could leak out. Minx, we see her around the city as well. She is a claws and regeneration scrapper. Synapse found her roaming the streets of Paragon. They formed a band for their mutual hatred of Cray, and he has helped her gain control of her abilities, because electric abilities have so much to do with claws and regeneration. But I like the regeneration secondary for scrappers. I think it's one of the better choices that they have. And she's sticking to those claws, but again, the claws look like Savage Melee. It looks like something with the Savage claws instead of ones coming out of your hand, but she's been here since she's an OG, so we'll let that slide. Minx has the signature power Feral Flurry. You think that Tin Can is going to protect you? Rah, 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 rah. And then she goes crazy, scratching up his face, all kinds. Serpent Drummer, and I believe that we see him in the Ricti Warzone. I think that he is somebody you talk to when you're trying to get the Vanguard badge, so you can be able to do the Ricti mothership raids and get rewards, but he just like refers you to somebody else. Serpent Drummer, kind of a cool idea. Doesn't he look like another? He looks like Iron Fist. He looks like Iron Fist a bit to me, but he has the serpent on his hand, and the Serpent Drummer has the ability to apparently use that snake spirit to attack enemies in the face. Gah! And he shoots them with a cobra, but I can see that perhaps that's maybe good for one-on-one scenarios with your martial arts regen, not so much for bigger fights. So maybe that's why he hangs out in the Vanguard base all day. Lady Grey, hey, she's in the Vanguard base too, isn't she? Lady Grey Task Force, I think. She's a dark melee regeneration scrapper. Very cool power set for her, and I think she's the inspiration for a lot more of the dark melee people that we're going to be seeing as well. It is said that Victoria Grey was born more than 100 years ago. Her conflict with Vanessa DeVore and the Carnival of Shadows is much more recent. And she has Aging Touch. I want Aging Touch so bad. That's her signature power. I would love to be able to do that and rapidly age my opponent like she's doing on the right there. Today is the last day of the rest of your life. I don't even know what that means. You were doing cool with the Aging Touch. Why did you have to say something dumb after? Somber Warrior. He's sad. Somber Warrior is a dark melee / invulnerability scrapper, or I guess his armor's invulnerable. And he has the ability Knowledge of the Ages for dark melee. Relentless and determined, the Somber Warrior always completes his task. He just dies, goes back to the hospital, spawns, goes back in. He will not quit on your task force. Sounds like somebody you want with you. Stygian is a dark melee and dark armor, so a dark scrapper. Okay, you want to go full dark? You can. There's probably better combinations, but you have two strong ones. There's nothing wrong with it. I call upon dark powers to maintain the light, is what Stygian says. His signature power is From Beyond of the dark melee set. Spawned from the union of a fire demon and a Circle of Thorns mystic, Stygian was not the soulless shell that they hoped for. He rebelled against his creators and swore to stop the Circle from creating more like him. And uses dark demon powers. Very cool, Stygian. I like the theme. Now here's somebody I like his theme a lot. Night Strike. Claws, dark armor. He has cool claws. He has dark armor. We can't see his claws. I assume that they're in there. Maybe they're in the flashy bright on the right there. He fights to keep the darkness from erupting and tearing a permanent hole in the fabric of reality. Whoa! And his comic art on the left looks like it's from the 80s, right? It looks super old. But his signature ability is called Hit and Run. And the only problem I have with that is in the picture, he is neither hitting nor running. He's stabbing with claws, and he's standing there or twisting around the arm of what appears to be a devouring earth or a I thought it was a hydra at first, but I guess it is a devoured earth. And he was caught in a dimensional rift between our world and Shadow Earth. Nikolai Zasek and his brother Mikhail were filled with dark power. Whoa, I would like to see more of him. I think he's really cool. Notice that he doesn't have sleeves on the left and he does have sleeves on the right. I think that is a really cool, very kind of basic costume, but I like the idea behind him. We have Infernal, and we should recognize him as well. He is a fiery aura and a battle axe tanker. Good, strong combination. I think we have to fight him a couple times, or the alternate version of him a few times, right? Son of Lilitu, brother of Curse, binder of demons. Well, that makes sense because his signature power is Bind Demon. It is from the Fiery Aura set, somehow. Infernal uses the power of the demons. He fights against them by using their own power. That is pretty cool. He always talks about demons. I think his axe is bound with demons. Speaking of an axe, look at this dude, Wasteland. What does that thing on his chest even mean? I don't know. But he's an ice armor and super strength? Excuse me, sir. Why are you holding a battle axe if you're super strength? In your other picture, for survival of the fittest, his signature ability. Come on. Make him battle axe then, if that's what he is. I like it either way. Ice armor super strength is probably better than ice armor battle axe, but they're both good options, and I would like to see more battle axes represented, especially in game. So make a Wasteland character. Now here's a good battle axe, and here's a cool character, Acer. He is an ice armor battle axe tanker, and his power, Blood of the Giants, looks awesome, and I want it. If we're going to get any new powers, I want the ability to grow super big. Look, he's knocking over a car. I want to be like Long Shadow, going up there, getting all huge and lagging my computer even more. Oh, man. So the Blood of the Giants runs through his veins. The blood of his enemies runs from the blade of his axe. Ugh. My ancestors faced greater threats than this. Do your worst, villain. As he gets super giant. Acer looks so cool. And he's ice armor, which we don't even see in the representation of the art, but what a cool concept. Caldera is a fiery aura energy melee tanker. And correct me if I'm wrong, Caldera, doesn't that mean cauldron in Spanish? I'm pretty sure it does. I might be wrong. Let me know. But she just runs in headfirst with blazing speed and bops around like a foosball, bop, 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 knocking out all the enemies. That's what she's good at. Fiery energy. Yep, keep it going. Whirling hands. Keep it going. Burn. Keep it going. Blazing aura. It is said that Caldera's powers come from the sun itself. Well, whatever they came from, keep it going, because that is the person who's going to carry you through AE. Hero 1, who we should recognize because we have to fight him several times, is an invulnerability energy melee tanker. And I think there's like a statue of him or something like that. His sacrifice will never be forgotten. Well, I don't even remember what it is. His signature ability is Aid from the Fae. The Fae blood within Hero 1 binds him forever to their cause. So he's able to heal himself a little bit. Very cool character as well. And we get to fight him, and he is really strong. And the last of the heroes that we're going to look at before we get to the sidekicks, this is my pal Statesman. He is an invulnerability super strength tanker, of course, and he has the signature power Zeus's lightning bolt, because I believe he is the reincarnation of Zeus himself. Paragon City needs new heroes, and in case of emergency, call on the gods! A quote of Statesman quoting himself. If you had to choose one of the following sidekicks to follow you along, who would it be and why? Would it be Glitter Dance, the ice armor energy melee tanker? She, with a name like Glitter Dance, you better be glittering pretty darn much, or you better be dancing out there. Granted, her costume is not as revealing as some of the other ones that we see, but with a name like Glitter Dance, I mean, you're just asking for trouble. Beautiful but deadly, Glitter Dance draws the attention of her foes and then withstands their mightiest blows. Glitter Dance. You might want to use one of those free name changes. Fire Orchid is a fiery aura super strength tanker. Kind of a cool combo. Fiery Aura, super strength. She's able to get those foot stomps in there over and over again. She's got burn for a lot of AoE damage. I am all about the power set combo. Trained in martial combat, Fire Orchid makes her opponents pay for attacking her. When she makes them pay, she's in like a silk nightgown. I'm noticing another person who maybe could use the costume change her a little bit. Fire Orchid, I feel like now she would even maybe be like martial arts, like maybe a scrapper. I don't know if that combo would work. It says that she does martial combat but has super strength. Little bit off there, Fire Orchid. Shadow Crane looks awesome. Martial arts, dark armor. I feel like maybe the martial arts is a waste. Maybe there's something better he could do, but but I like the way it looks. It's a very basic costume. He just has the robe going over tattered sleeves. We've seen a lot of people with that before. I will not succumb to the darkness within me, and I will teach my brother Mikhail to control it as well. Oh, so he's one of the he's the brother of that dark guy from before. I think the Claws dark guy. Very cool. Shadow Crane. Looks like you have a little bit more discipline there than your brother. Tenebros? Tenebros. Tenebros? Tenebris. Tenebris. I don't know how you say his name. Either way, he's a dark melee regeneration scrapper. The powers that aid me are not for you to know. The price I paid for them will haunt me forever. My parents! Look at that. Covering up his mouth with a popped collar. This guy has some issues. Dark melee regen. It's a cool power combo. You'd probably be able to survive for a long time and do good in 1-to-1 situations. But he's a little bit too edgy for me. But this guy is my guy. Wrath. Claws, invulnerability, scrapper, and he looks awesome! Again, literally claws, like saber-toothed claws coming out of his fingernails. Superidine created him. Now he is on a ceaseless crusade to destroy all those who manufacture and distribute that powerful drug. Wrath! I would love to have this guy teaming up with me. He's probably my pick. Put a shirt on, please, and maybe take it down a notch until we get there. But once we're inside, I'd rather have him on my team than have him be on the other guy's team. He's not going down without a fight, especially if he's hopped up on Superidine. He says he's against Superidine. I think he's on it. Sparkle needs to maybe put on a sweater. She looks kind of like a lacy Wonder Woman thing going on. Radiation emission, electrical blast, defender. Sparkle has spent many hours combing her hair. Learning to coordinate her attacks with her teammates. Her timing is unmatched, and she has super speed. What do you have to time them with? That you don't pull aggro first? That you throw down your 2 debuffs when they start attacking? Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. Atomic Arrow. Now this guy has a pretty cool costume. I like it. Trick Arrow, Radiation Blast. Interesting combination, right? Get some contamination effects, get the trick arrow going. Okay, kind of comes together. A throwback to a previous era. The atomic arrow has no trouble dealing with the villains of today, and he has super jump, which is probably the best travel power that you can have. Atomic arrow, but the name, I feel like you could have been more original. Like, I have an arrow and I use radiation arrow, atomic arrow. Put a little bit more thought into it next time. Now we have Silo, which is what you store corn in. Force field, archery, defender. I'm not a big fan of it. Born with the ability to manipulate air currents, Silo has mastered the art of aerial combat. She uses her air currents to affect the arrows that she shoots. She uses air currents to make force fields. Are you sure? She's not a wind control. We don't have wind control yet, but I think that would make more sense for her. A little different. Psychedelic. Mind control, radiation emission controller. She looks awesome. She has way too many colors on the torso there. I don't think that you could really have all those different colors, but it looks cool. She's using mind control. She's using radiation on her opponents. She's probably making them trip out pretty hard. I am all about psychedelic. She can come on my team anytime. Mind control, debuffs, love it. Blue Chill is an ice control trick arrow controller. Okay, so you have like the sleet that you can put on the ground to knock them down. You got stuff to hold them in place. You got stuff to debuff. Okay, I can see ice trick arrow being good. Not a combination we see all the time, right? So I like that some of these cards have really different, unique power set combinations. Blue Chill has an uncanny ability to make things difficult for her foes. You don't say, slowing them down, minus recharge out the wazoo, I'm sure. Stratosphere, a gravity control force field controller. Stratosphere. That name though, Stratosphere? Why? Because you can fly up there? Okay, I guess they're taking some liberties with what a force field actually is. As long as I patrol the skies of Paragon City, the Sky Raiders will never find a permanent home here, because he just spawn counts them and goes around looking for Sky Raiders all day. You could. The force field's going to be able to keep people away from him and push them away. Plus he has Force Bolt. Plus he has the gravity control effect. Yeah, he's going to be able to push people a lot. That's actually a pretty cool combo there. I could see Force Field being a good thing for gravity controllers to have. Hailstone, which is a nice name for an archery ice manipulation blaster. Hailstone, a small ice projectile coming down and hitting you. Manticore may have trained me, but let's see him make this shot. And then he seems like he has maybe a little bit of arrogance to him. Hailstone, that is a super cool name. I'm not a big fan of the power choice combination. I don't see a bonus to going archery ice, but I've never seen archery ice before. Good for him, very original. Red Lightning is a Fire Blast electric manipulation blaster. After mastering the energy flowing through her system, Red Lightning developed an innate ability to dampen the power of her foes. So she's actually able to do some endurance modification with her electrical abilities, as well as having the force of her power through her body come out in the form of Fire Blast. And she has Super Jump. Okay, it's an okay combination. I think I wouldn't personally choose electric as a secondary, but this guy chose electric as a primary and devices as a secondary. Mainline, I like the idea there that he's kind of a techie, looks like a smart guy working with generators. With the ability to draw energy from any machine, mainline is hardly ever without power. I love it. Like the infamous game, sucking power from the poles and stuff around you. That is a really cool thing that he could do. Mainline, I love the idea. ALBERICH, a stone armor battle axe tanker. Now, I can't quite tell. He looks like he's on the shorter side, maybe, but when he goes to granite armor, he's going to be huge. But it looks like he's a bit smaller, but he has a huge battle axe. I think that battle axe is definitely a good combination for stone armor, because you get the minus damage from granite armor, but it has such a high base damage anyways that you're going to be dealing. It's going to kind of make up for it. Not as good as super strength, though. Thermopylae is an invulnerability fiery melee tanker. I don't agree as much. He looks like he's shield and battle axe, because he's holding a shield and battle axe, but it says invulnerable and fiery melee, so let's just believe him. He's a Spartan? You mean like the Greeks? Not like... I don't get it. If you get it, let me know. I don't get what his subtext is supposed to mean there. He has teleportation, just a random weird choice, random powers. I don't think that I would invite him to come with me until he figured out what he was supposed to be doing. Tiger Eye, not Tiger's Eye, is a katana super reflexes scrapper. Kind of a generic choice that a lot of people would take. I've definitely played katana super reflexes, and it's fun. You can do a lot of cool stuff. I'm guessing you like those fingers. Chop, chop, chop. And then she snips them off, and she has the teleport ability. Tiger Eye. Kind of like Tigress, kind of reminds me of a bit as well. Spirit Healer is an illusion control empathy. Spirit Healer, like she heals your spirit. What few people realize is that the empathy can be used for harm just as easily. With Absorb Pain, are you hurting your teammates? Because that's the only way I can think of empathy being used to harm somebody. But hey, I guess she can. Illusion control, so she can't heal her pets, but she can heal her teammates. Okay, maybe she dances around and summons the illusions. She must have something going on to make it work for her then. Kind of a cool costume, though. I like the flowing hair and the kind of the rags of the sleeves coming off. Now, what I don't like is this guy, Mundanugu. I don't like anything that he's putting out there. He needs a shirt, he needs pants, he needs to go to the dentist and maybe see an optometrist. He is an empathy psychic blast defender. I feel like we saw another one of these. I think Remedy is another one of these. Same power set, but hey, he could come along and heal as long as he breathes the other way and doesn't talk to me. Spirits, hear my plea. Stars, remember my name. I am your eternal servant, and I have need of your might. And then he heals you. And if he has to say that every time he casts a heal other, I definitely don't want him on my team. And he can fly? No, thank you. If he flies, I can see exactly what's underneath that loincloth, and that's not what I'm here to see. And the last sidekick that we'll be looking at is Gaussian, and we see him, he has an enhancement as well, Gaussian's Fire Control. Anybody?
Did you know that by clicking on the subscribe button that you are going to be kept up to date on all the latest guides, builds, macros, and more that are coming out of my channel? Also check the description below for a link to the SP Jimmy Discord. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in a little bit.